Okay, so this is like just a meeting for the new campaign
Okay.
for Burrows and Badgers. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're on.
So yeah, basically I went on eBay and I found this box and it has like, I don't know how many miniatures on it, but it had basically like 15 or 16 miniatures I think we could use, you know. Some of them, a lot of them are D&D characters or D&D races. They're like half animal, half people kind of things. Like there's like a minotaur, there's like a kung fu panda looking guy. I don't know if it's a jackal or a fox lady. It's a dragonborn, but that could easily be a lizard guy. There's a lion, and then the mouse person, and then there's a bunch of them that are just animal ones. And the coolest one of them is the lizard guy who's got pack on, like he's like a pack animal.
That's neat.
There's also like a jackalope. There's a corgi with armor. I don't know what kind of animal that is, but it looks like some sort of ferret or something with armor. The other
It's a badger, isn't it?
Let me see his face.
Maybe
Yeah, that looks like a bad.
A
It
bad-
could be a possum.
It could be a possum, yeah.
That's
And
got
then
a possum-y tail.
there's a chicken, but the chicken almost has like arms, and he's wearing a belt. I don't know, that one's just weird. There's a pug, antelope. There's a cat sitting on a
Throw.
throne of swords. There's a raven on a giant skull. An elephant. I guess an
That's
antelope.
a tiny elephant.
But yeah, so anyways, so I thought that that could potentially be a warband too.
Yeah, that's cool. Where'd you buy those?
eBay. It's eBay.
I thought it was Amazon.
No, it was eBay.
Is it eBay? Because I see those on Amazon all the time. Those like purple boxes, like.
And that's probably where they got originally, and they're probably like, I don't want this, you know. And so they sold. I've seen it now. It says Wildspire, so I don't know if that's the manufacturer or the thing, but I don't know. I just thought it looked pretty cool.
It does. It is cool.
28 hero and animal companion settings and quest new, made in China. So, anyways, so I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, and like I said, since we were kind of trying to like scrape together miniatures, I thought this would be a cheap alternative. You know, we could throw together a warband that way. And then the other thing I was telling Matt before you showed up, I got some, what do you call them? Like Beastmen, the new ones, but they're 40K. They're not fantasy because they kind of stopped making the fantasy Beastmen.
Right.
And I was saying they look a little weird because they have like a melee weapon and a pistol, but the rules say there are rules for having a gun. They're a little expensive, but there's no rules for like a goat or like a bull person. So,
See, now I thought I used to have a shoebox full of chaos
you might
miniatures.
I mean,
I'm not seeing it on the wall here,
right,
but I know I got a Beastman Blood Bowl team.
right,
But it's a Blood Bowl team, and it's like they got footballs and everything. But okay, so what I have is I have constructed 6 factions in 6 areas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right? So the first one is the main good guys, which your guys would do well for the main good guys, and I have not made miniatures for the guy. It's Northumbria. Now the names have been altered to fit our scenarios and our campaigns.
Protect
So
their identities.
no, well, it's like
Beat me to
a lot of them are hard to pronounce. A lot of them are hard to spell. I'm using several different genres or systems to make our campaign like more homogenous. So the first one is Northumbria, and the faction is the Royal Guard. Like they're the ultimate good guys of the thing, and each faction has its own perk.
Okay.
Okay, so you get an advantage depending on what faction you pick. Okay. Some of them are better than others, but there's only 4 of us, and there are 6 things, so
Gotcha.
you can choose. So the perk for the Northumbrian Royal Guard is they ignore all armor penalties. So they can wear heavy armor with no movement penalties, none of that.
That's pretty
right?
good. That's pretty good.
That's a good perk, right?
Yeah.
Because and the perk is called something like night training, right? Mm-hmm. The second guys are the Strathclaw here, which are the Kalaman from Alchemy, and this is their miniatures, and you guys can look at these if you want. These guys, I have 3 painted. The rest need to be assembled and painted, but I have a whole group there. And their area is called Strathclaw, and it's a desert region. And we may even have like regional things like, oh, it's the desert, okay. So people and they're cat people basically, right?
Right.
And their perk is they ignore all climb and fall penalties. So they can climb vertically with no movement, halved, or anything. And if they have fall, they don't suffer fall damage. Because cats always land on their feet. Right? Nice. So, that's these guys. And it's not the strongest factional bonus, but it is something.
Okay.
The next guys are the Myrmidons. These are the lizard men, and you guys can look through there. There's the guys that I've put together for those guys here.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Their capital is Thorn, and they're in the rainforest, right? There's some pretty badass dudes in here that I found. I love this. Look at this guy out. He's
he's like a Naga.
He's a Naga,
Ooh.
and they have 2 perks. One is they're amphibious, so they ignore rough terrain penalties. Their movement isn't half in rough terrain. And they're cold-blooded. They ignore route checks. So you can fight them as long as you want.
But if the temperature falls below 60 degrees, they all fall asleep.
Is it only with water, or is it all...
No, it's all I just call it amphibious. This is our first run.
Yeah.
Right? So they ignore route checks.
I just remember we played Bornheim. I played the Lizardmen faction, and they had a similar, but it was only with water. It had a similar,
yeah.
But they couldn't drown. That was the best part. It was like, they can't really drown in the water.
Next are the gay elves.
So the next one,
please,
is the Raven tags, the mange. Okay. They're basically the zombies. And so the leaders are the crow people, the crows, and then the rest are just Skaven. They're Clan Escher, I think. Is it Clan Escher that's a plague rats?
Something like that. I have to go look it up. But yeah, the plague rats. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So there's some really really nice guys there. I got some jabroni mice. They're pre-painted. Uh-huh. They got their base coated. And these are like old starter set from the 80s.
Are they metal?
No, they're these are plastic. The rest of them are metal. Cool. They have 2 Raven leaders, and the rest are Skaven. Some of them are plastic. That's from like a starter set a couple years ago, and then some of them are metal. But they're kind of got a wash on them. Some of them, and they're pretty cool.
One fancy rifle this rat has.
Yeah, and their perk is they have stealth. They ignore all negatives in hiding, searching, and ambush.
Okay.
So they can find you, they can see you, you can't see them, and they can ambush you easily. So that is their special, quote unquote, their faction ability, not racial ability. Their faction ability. Faction ability.
We got Edward Scissorhands here.
While we're talking about races and factions, one of the things I found in doing my research on Burrows and Badgers is homogenous warbands are overpowered.
Okay.
So we're going to make it a rule that your captain and your lieutenant or equivalent have to be a different race than your jabronis, than your standard basic guys. Just because...
DEI.
Yeah. Well...
You're going to get in trouble, Franz.
You said it, not me. No, from what I understand on the internet, if you field all of one race in your warband, you guys it compounds exponentially, and you just like blow everybody out of the water.
Well, especially some of the more rare
Right.
ones. They looked a little bit more powerful just from reading the rules.
Shiba Inu is going to come along and defund the warband.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Let me lay this guy down. Let's see if that one. All right, so the next guys are
Elon Muskrat.
these guys. So these guys are the mange, right? And okay, so I told you wrong because I had to switch some things around on this.
Okay.
So the crows these are the mange. So the zombies, their special ability is, if they attack you, you have to make like an armor save roll. Not an armor, but like a health bonus, whatever.
Okay.
Roll. If you roll a 1, you're infected.
Oh.
And so at the end of the game, regardless of whether you got taken out of action or not, you have to roll on the injury table to see what happens.
Is it forever or is it just that one?
No, it's just that's it.
Okay, so it's not
unless you're dead.
It's not Carnival Chaos rules where it's like
no, it's not. You don't have to roll every turn. It's just if you're attacked by them, that particular game, you have to roll on the injury table. If you take a wound,
right, on
a 1 in 6 chance, you get infected.
I just remember when we'd play. Someone had a Carnival Chaos warband, and it was like,
Wasn't
one of my jabronis got infected. It's like he's just gone. I am not playing the game of, have him transfer the Nurgle whatever rod or whatever around to the other guys. But
that was cheating Dan, Dismal Dan.
I'm Dismal.
He's Dismal.
You're Dismal Dan.
Cheating Dan did. He did. Possessed. I want to say.
Franz,
one
following the rules and reading the rules is not cheating.
No, but it's dismal to play against.
Yeah. You're just sore about panic firing.
In Franz's defense, it played so rough, man, to play against that.
Hey, I'm just following them's rules. No. Written.
But it's just crazy when someone has 3 shots and then 3 more.
Yeah,
and
just
then
because
it's
the
just
rules are bad.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
And then they just, okay, now I got my backup pistol.
Yeah.
So the next faction is the Northlands, which are these guys. They're the ones that are stealthy. And they're called the Rag Claws, I think. Ragteeth? Ragteeth. The Ragtooth faction. Ooh. And so some of those are painted in there. Some of some need to be assembled.
So they look almost like
these are out of these are alchemy factions, but we're proxying them.
Yeah, because I would say they look from the thing. They look kind of I don't know.
Yeah, these look
lizardy / that guy looks a little anteater-y. I don't know what you would describe them as.
This guy's
froggy,
like a weird bird
orky
guy.
Yeah, okay, he's a weird bird guy, and they'll say that guy looks almost like an anteater.
Mm-hmm.
But is it?
They look like Anubis.
Well, they're wearing a skulls. It looks like they're wearing a skulls over their faces. Okay. So maybe
I get it.
Maybe they're like little.
There's like this troll guy.
He's missing an arm. He looks almost like like an orc. But anyways, yeah, no, they look cool.
Yeah, and those are proxies.
Okay.
And somebody may not pick those. These are just ones that I've come up with. Now, if you guys come up with your own, we can do something. And then the last one are the Guelph Freelanders, which are my faction.
The gay elves.
Yeah. They're like, and each of these guys have every 2 war factions has what do you call it? An alliance with each other. So the Northumbrians have a thing with the Freelancers, and then the Strathclaw have an alliance with the Myrmidons and
a secret alliance.
It's not secret, but it's like they're trade alliances, and then these are my guys. They're mostly foxes and mice.
Oh, cool.
And their special ability is at the end of every turn, they can buy a rare item without having to roll on a rarity table.
Ooh, that's a good special ability.
So they're the tech.
No wonder you chose them.
I just
they're the Van Sar.
I just happen to get first choice.
It's funny because they all got lightsabers and rattle guns.
Yeah.
I don't know if the rare items are that good. I haven't read the rules that closely, but I'm just trying to spitball and come up with special abilities for each faction. That's like,
and that's a pretty standard one. Like the Vansar, I want to say, in Necromunda had something kind of like that.
Yeah. It's like I'm not super creative. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
You're borrowing here and there, and you're taking.
Yeah, we're borrowing. Yeah, we're just doing something. So you guys can. Spitball and think about which fact. Now, see, all these are the miniatures that me and you made, and come up with. And if you guys have any ideas or specials that you want to come up with, we can work that in, and we can adjust anything. But it's basically what I thought we would do is like, we have 6 factions, 6 areas. We can roll a d6 to see which area battlefield we're playing on. Mm-hmm. In the game, because we have desert.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds neat.
What?
I said that sounds neat.
Yeah, because there's a desert, jungle, city, country, graveyard, haunted woods, and the other one is like snow. So 6 basic areas to fight in, and then you roll on the scenario table and see which scenario you take. Gotcha. And we follow the rules from there.
Cool.
But you weren't here last week, but this is one of the books that I'm using for inspiration for our... that's Into the Hinterlands. That's the sequel book. But
so that if you can kind of go through it, but there's no rules. It's all
fluff.
Like basically, yeah. It's all,
so this is Burrows and Badgers.
No, this is Guelph.
Well, so like you can use whatever system you want, but that gives you the universe.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
Yeah, well, it's like I borrowed, like the north part of the map is all this, and the south part of the map is all Burrows and Badgers.
Yeah, very much.
Northumbria. Northumbria is the Burrows and Badgers universe, and Guelph is this universe, and this is where I got the zombies, and these guys, and my faction, and then the other 3 factions are loosely based on stuff in Burrows and Badgers and alchemy.
That looks cool.
Yeah. So.
I am in.
All right. I'm gonna stop the video here, and we can talk amongst ourselves. If I can find the button.